SuperSport United's journey to the final has included trips to Madagascar, Sudan, Liberia, Gabon, Guinea, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia and Tunisia. Now the Pretoria club is just 2 matches away from pocketing a cool $1.25 million, but the prize money is far from the thoughts of head coach Eric Tinkler, who needs to get the best out of a depleted squad for the first leg in Lubumbashi.
That was what was always being put into question, is the depth. Do you have the depth in the squad? Because we go into this game with a few suspensions, a few injuries, and players need to step up.
Due to international call-ups, Tinkler has not been able to put together a proper camp ahead of the clash against the reigning champions, and admits it isn't an excuse, but says it isn't ideal.
Love to have had at least a week prep with a full squad, but that's not the case, you know, and I can sit here and I can complain about it, and then it's going to be tomorrow, it's excuses, the coach is giving excuses, but that is the truth. We would have preferred to have had a week preparation.
SuperSport United could be without star striker Jeremy Brockie. The African Player of the Year nominee has been in Peru representing New Zealand, and Tinkler says it will be touch and go if he features this weekend.
He will literally land the morning we leave, and we will assess him once we are there. It's not like we are gifted right now with a massive squad. We are actually travelling with 17. That's who is available.
It will be of vital importance for SuperSport United not to concede in the first leg away to the DRC Giants. Should Matsatsansa Apitoli manage that, they'll be favourites going into the second leg in Attridgeville and stand a very good chance to end TP Mazembe's dominance in the competition and become South Africa's first ever Confederation Cup champions. Sias du Plessis, CGTN, Pretoria.
Right now, for more on this, I'm joined by Kunle Solaja, who's a football analyst and editor-in-chief of Sports Village Square in Nigeria. He speaks to us from Lagos. Kunle, the first leg of the Confederations Cup final takes place in just about 24 hours now. We're not seeing, though, as much excitement as you'd expect in other tournaments like the Champions League. Why exactly is that?
Can you come again?
Kunle, I was saying that tomorrow the CAF Confederations Cup takes place, and we've not seen as much excitement in the build-up to this final as we have in probably the CAF Champions League. Why exactly is that?
Yeah, it's just simple. The CAF Confederation Cup is a second-tier continental competition, just in the same way you have the Europa Cup, which cannot compete favorably with, it doesn't command the same type of followership and excitement that we have for the UEFA Champions League. It's the same thing that is applicable here in Africa. And you also know that the CAF Champions League itself is an end to itself, unlike the UEFA Champions League, where you have the big teams still competing and knowing fully well that if they do well in the UEFA Champions, the Europa Cup, they have the opportunity of getting into the Champions League. That is not the case here in Africa. The journey begins and ends with the Confederation Cup, and that's probably one of the reasons why it doesn't really command much excitement like the Champions League.
Now, Kunle, looking at both teams in that final, we have a SuperSport from South Africa and DRC's TP Mazembe. Who would you say are the favourites to lift the cup?
Well, the favorite is very obvious. The favorite team for the for the title is the TP Mazembe. The record speaks clear about it. You know, for instance, since 2009, TP Mazembe is about the most successful African club in the continent. They've, from 2009 till now, they've won the Champions League 3 times. They've won the Confederation Cup once. They've lost the Confederation Cup final only once, and they've been to the FIFA Club World Cup and been to the very final match, been a runners-up. So what it means, in essence, is that the TP Mazembe club has won every title available in the continent, including the Super Cup. So And if they maintain the tradition, and it's one of the most funded clubs in Africa, being able to get players from all over the continent, from Ghana, from Cote d'Ivoire, and from the neighboring South Africa. So I see them still excelling. And besides that, they have a home ground that is a fortress. They've not been beaten there in 23 matches. In fact, in 25 matches, they've won 23 and drew only twice at home. And one of the occasions where they drew was against SuperSport Club of South Africa. So I still see them maintaining that tradition of doing well.
All right, Kunle.